Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Violet. I'm a second generation homeschooling mama to 3. I have a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old, and an infant. Today I'd like to share with you some of the books that we got at our most recent trip to the library. So let's get into it. These 3 books are all Wonder books, which if your library doesn't have them, they have little players on the inside front cover that read the story to you, and then they also have a learning mode where they'll ask questions about what they liked best about the book, what their favorite part was, pretty much just things like that. So this is Ezra Jack Keats' Snowy Day, which we love and we read every winter. It's a very, very cute story if you haven't read it. This Wonder book is Little Boob Truck. It's one of my son's favorites. Again, has the speaker right there, and it's just a really, really cute rhyming story about a truck who goes out of his way to be kind to everyone. So that's a big favorite, a big hit with my son. Then Llama Llama Red Pajama, also a Wonder book, rhyming story about a llama who is afraid of the dark, but it all ends up being okay anyway. His mom comes in and gives him a good night kiss, and then he goes to sleep. So that's a really cute story too. And then the next set of books that my 5-year-old chose are these Oliver Jeffers books. I think they're based on or taken from a bigger book that he has, but this is a series of board books. So we have this book of opposites, this book of animals, which is an ABC book, this book of colors. It has some really nice illustrations. But pretty basic. My son's 5, but he still really likes these kind of categorizing books where everything's sorted into what it should, like what category it should be in. So this one's a counting one. This one's probably the most involved of the 4 books. So he enjoys looking at those on his own. I don't usually read them to him because they're pretty simple for where he's at now. And then the last books that my son chose for himself are these Octonauts books. This one has a glow-in-the-dark page, which he was really, really excited about, although it is torn in this library book. If your kids haven't seen the Octonauts TV show, it's aimed at preschoolers, but it's about these 8 undersea explorers who meet ocean animals, and they usually have to help them in some way, and it teaches a little bit of marine biology, a little bit about ocean animals. So the books are less educational than the TV show. Some of the monsters they encounter and some of the animals they encounter in the books are just completely made up, especially this one. This one was just totally fictional, which is fine. It was cute, but I don't think my son learned anything from it. And then this is the last book my son chose for himself. Does a Bear Poo in the Woods? I haven't read it, but scatological humor is always a hit with him. And then my daughter chose this picture book. She's 7, Charlotte and the Nutcracker. It's about the first, here's a picture of her. She also wrote this book. She's the first Black dancer to be cast as the lead in the Nutcracker. So my daughter loves the Nutcracker. She loves ballet. She loves reading about little girls. So this book looks really, really cute. So we're excited to read this one. This next picture book I actually chose. It's based on, oh, sorry about the glare. It's based on an ancient poem, an old Irish poem. So the book itself doesn't rhyme, but it kind of tells the story of the old poem, and it has these cool kind of almost graphic novel-like illustrations, and it's just a very sweet little book. So yeah, that was a fun one. The next book I'm going to show you, I haven't seen this anywhere else, but I snapped it up as soon as my library put it out. It actually came when the librarian was putting out the new winter books and grabbed this right away. So it's a collection of winter tales from around the world, as you can see. Let's see if I can move this so there's not so much glare on the words. So you can kind of see the table of contents, and then it's illustrated with really nice full page pictures. The stories are on the longer side, so I don't think my 5-year-old would sit through me reading something this long. He's just not that into stories, but my 7-year-old has already read several of these to herself and would definitely sit and listen to me read the entire thing. So that's a really cool one. I'm really glad I found that one. Oh, and I wanted to show you in the back of this book, she has all of her sources for all of the tales, which I appreciate so much. It always is nice to see where they took the stories from, especially when they're taking stories that are not, maybe not theirs to tell. You can see where they got them from and all of that. That's really nice. And then this book I picked up to see if there would be any, Mindfulness for Little Ones, to see if there would be any activities that we would want to do. I'm always looking for more mindfulness and SEL things. So this has, let's see if I can hold this so you can actually see it. This has a bunch of different activities and a bunch of different categories. Some of them are messy, and we probably won't be doing the messy ones, but some of them look really good and simple, and we've done a couple of them and they've gone well, so that's always good to find. And then this last book that I chose, my middle child goes to occupational therapy, and one of the things he does is food play. So his OT recommended that we incorporate some food play at home. So I checked this book out because I am not always good at thinking of really creative ideas. So let me show you. Oh, I don't know that there is a table of contents. No, there isn't. But there's breakfasts, there's snacks, there's lunches, and then there's kind of more dinner and then kind of dessert type things, although I think they're all labeled snacks. My children's favorite has definitely been this muffin tray lunch where you have proteins, grains, fruits, and vegetables, and then they can pick what they want to eat. The idea being that they pick one from each column, but it kind of just depends upon how they're feeling that day. All right, so the next set of books I want to share with you, these are the books my daughter chose for herself. She's 7 and she is reading independently. So she chose a whole big stack of these Who Would Win books, which if you haven't seen these, they're nonfiction books, and they usually pair 2 animals, although this one looks like it might pair a whole bunch of animals on each page. And so it asks, in a fight, which of these animals would win? Maybe this would be a better one to show you. So it tells you all sorts of different facts about the two different, this is coyote versus dingo, the 2 different animals. And then at the end, it asks who would win, who has these advantages, and you decide which animal would win. So my daughter loves these. She got a whole bunch of them. These remind me of the Smash Boom Best podcast from, I'm actually not sure who does it, but it's a debate style podcast that asks similar, like nachos versus cheese debate style questions. My kids really like that. The next book is this Science Comics Periodic Table of the Elements. This one's new. My daughter's read almost all the other science comics, so she was excited to see this on the new or in the new shelf at our library. She's really, really into chemistry and the periodic table, so she was really excited to find one that would talk about that. So I don't think she started it yet, but graphic novel style books are always a big hit with her. And then she picked up this book just to try. I don't know anything about this, but it looks cute. It looks like it has really nice illustrations, and it looks like it has a lot of them. So on the back it says, life with the sea can be lonely, just ask Pandora and Seabold. They've lived most of their lives with the sea. So Pandora lives on a lighthouse and Seabold lives on a boat, but one day they find each other and they start sort of like a found family kind of deal. So that looks really cute. This next one is the second in the Animal Rescue Agency series. My daughter read the first one and loved it. And so this one is a bit longer than the other ones that she's chosen, but it's 2 detectives, and they have to solve animal-related cases. So the first one was polar bears. This is pangolin. You can see this has a lot fewer pictures than the previous book, but it still has some. She's not quite at the stage where she wants to read a book entirely without pictures, which is completely fine. I still enjoy pictures, and I am an adult. And the last book she chose for herself is the Secret Explorers book. It's book number 8, Secret Explorers and the Plant Poacher. She's read all the other ones and really enjoyed them. So this has a decent number of chapters and a decent number of pictures. You usually learn something about some science-related things. This one's about plants and like plants that eat insects, I think specifically. All right, so those are all the books that we chose for ourselves. The last stack of books I want to show you are all the books that we got for, we use Fish Tank English Language Arts units as our literature units. And we don't have all the books for this unit, the new unit that we've started, People Who Change the World. It's the second grade unit. But the ones that we've gotten so far look really good, so I wanted to show them to you. This one is called How to Build a Hug. It's about Temple Grandin. It doesn't ever specifically say autism in the text, but it describes what it was like for her growing up with autism. And then this book mostly also focuses on her a machine that she built that applied pressure to her body to help her with her regulation when she was dysregulated. And then the end note at the back talks more about how that pressure is now used as deep touch pressure therapy in a lot of therapeutic programs for autistic kids. This next book is Mario and the Hole in the Sky, How a Chemist Saved Our Planet. It's about the ozone hole and about how Mario loved chemistry and discovered what was causing the hole in the ozone layer. So the pictures in this look really cool. And then of course it has lots of facts in the back, which we may or may not read, kind of just depending upon my kids' interest. This is The Watcher. It's about Jane Goodall. And it talks about a lot of her experiences doing nature research and conservation research and some of her conservation efforts. And then of course it has a note in the back to give you more information. Here's Mama Miti. So this is about Mama Miti Wangari Maathai and the trees of Kenya, and it's about her replanting trees in Kenya, battling deforestation and erosion, and all the work and education that she's done for that. So that's a really cool book. This next one's called Queen of Physics, and this one also has really, really cool illustrations. It talks about how in China she wasn't allowed to go to school, but she persevered anyway, and she worked really hard, and then she helped unlock the secrets of the atom, like it says on the front. So that one looks really cool. My daughter loves books that are about girls and women in science, so that one will be a hit. Buzzing with Questions, The Inquisitive Mind of Charles Henry Turner. He was the first Black entomologist. So this one talks about some of the problems he faced, and then it mostly focuses on his love of studying insects, but it does talk a little bit about some of the issues he faced. So it's a really good book, I think. And then it has, I always love it when they have real pictures of the person that they've illustrated. So that one looks really good. This is about Farmer Will Allen and the growing table. So he introduced some really revolutionary urban farming techniques. So this book is mostly talking about all of his urban farming efforts and bringing urban farming to cities around the world. So, and then again, it has some real pictures at the end, which is really cool. And then also as part of this unit, the end of this unit, my daughter will read these books herself, which won't be any problem for her at all. She's a really good reader. So this first one's a National Geographic Kids Reader about Barack Obama. It's set up the same way as all the other National Geographic. Sonia Sotomayor. And then I guess National Geographic doesn't have one about Malala Yousafzai, so this one is Rookie Biographies, but it's pretty similar with text and pictures, and it talks about her life. So the Fish Tank unit also had some picture books that you could read to assist the kids if they're having trouble reading on their own. They can read the picture book and then read these books, but my daughter won't have any issues reading these on her own, so I just checked these out. Thanks for watching. I'll put links in the description box below, not to every single book, but to some of them, and then also I'll link Fish Tank. And I'll try to link everything else I mentioned in this video. As always, some of my links are affiliate links. If you click on them and purchase something, I do receive a commission on your purchase. Thanks for watching. Have a good week.